With the news in detail, the 58th ordinary session of heads of states and government of the Economic Community of West African States is now underway. President Muhammadu Buhari is participating at the summit virtually alongside other West African leaders. Chairman of ECOWAS and President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, convened the high-level engagement to deliberate on political, economic, social and other issues affecting the sub-region. Participants are expected to discuss reports on the situation in Mali, the ECOWAS single currency program, the status of implementation of ECOWAS payment and settlement system, as well as the African Continental Free Trade Area. The President is joined at the meeting by Ministers of Foreign Affairs, Defense, Finance, Budget and National Planning, as well as Industry, Trade and Investment. Steelers correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that a communique is expected at the end of the summit. In the meantime, member nations of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, have been challenged not only to prioritize the acquisition of COVID-19 vaccines for their citizens, but also take appropriate measures towards developing their own vaccines so as to build herd immunity against the pandemic. President Muhammadu Buhari would through the challenge in his virtual address to the 58th summit of the ECOWAS leaders order the release of $20 million in fulfillment of Nigeria's pledge to efforts at containing terrorism and violent extremism in the sub-region. The report will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletin. The prohibition of nuclear weapons is an important step towards the realization of the goal of a nuclear weapon-free world, which strongly demonstrates the multilateral support for nuclear disarmament. Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, said this in a video statement during the ratification of the treaty by 51 nations. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports.
The United Nations Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons prohibits its signatories from producing, stockpiling, selling and using nuclear weapons. Investigations show that the 90% of the world's estimated 13,400 nuclear warheads are reportedly owned by the US and Russia, with the remaining 10% shared among China, France, Britain, Pakistan, India, North Korea, and presumably Israel.
I commend the states that have ratified the treaty.
Antonio Guterres said the treaty is a strong demonstration of support for multilateral approaches to nuclear disarmament.
Nuclear weapons pose growing dangers and the world needs urgent action to ensure their elimination and prevent the catastrophic human and environmental consequences any use would cause. The elimination of nuclear weapons remains the highest disarmament priority of the United Nations. I call on all states to work together to realize this ambition to advance common security and collective safety.
Guterres said the entry into force of the treaty is a tribute to the survivors of nuclear tests and explosions.
His Excellency, the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Nigeria.
Nigeria joined other countries of the world to support the treaty when it was first signed in 2017. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
In the meantime, the giant of United States broadcasting, who achieved global fame for interviewing political leaders and celebrities, Larry King, has died at the age of 87. He died at Cedars Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. According to Aura Media, a production company he co-founded earlier this month, he was treated in hospital for COVID-19, U.S. media say. The talk show host, famous for his braces and roll-up sleeves, had faced several health problems in recent years, including heart attacks. Larry King carried out interviews with every sitting U.S. president, from Gerald Ford to Barack Obama, and a number of world leaders. His other high-profile guests included Martin Luther King, the Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, and Lady Gaga. For 63 years and across the platforms of radio, television, and digital media, Larry King, many thousands of interviews, awards, and global acclaim stand as a testament to his unique and lasting talent as a broadcaster. King conducted an estimated 50,000 interviews in his 6-decade career, which included 25 years as host of the popular CNN talk show Larry King Live. Back home, President Muhammadu Buhari is stepping up efforts to address challenges confronting border frontiers through the inauguration of Forward Operational Base in Ilase, area of Idiroko Control Post of Ogun State for enhanced policing. Controller General of Customs, Nigerian Immigration Service, Muhammad Bambandede, assured Nigerians that the service will continue to strengthen its border mechanisms in checkmating irregular migration, human trafficking, and other cross-border crimes. Correspondent Tope Alabi has the report.
3 local government areas in Ogun State, including Ipokia, Yewa North, and Imekwafon, share extensive borderline with the Republic of Benin, with several unauthorized routes that require the presence of border patrol officers to prevent illegal entry and exit,
so that they can make good use of it to serve Nigeria better.
The inauguration of this forward operation base in Ilashe area under Idiroko Control Post by the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Muhammad Bambandede, is to provide accommodation for personnel within the operational area for enhanced migration management, combating trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants and other forms of cross-border crimes.
So I assure you will continue to invest in border management by breaking the criminality of other people who doesn't want to follow the rules. The idea is to provide opportunity for law enforcement to patrol along the planks where people will not normally follow the normal route. Idiroko is around the corner, but some people will not like to go and present themselves before an immigration officer or even before a custom officer. As I said, this forward operation is going to be operated by immigration, but it's for the interest of all law enforcement.
The forward operational base, among other things, comprises 18 buildings installed with split air conditioners, fully furnished 32-bed senior and junior staff quarters, clinic, chapel, mosque, standby generator, solar inverter systems, and a functional borehole for water supply.
I wish to assure you and the NI stock management that this facility will be put to proper use by the border patrol personnel, and that we will redouble our effort in patrolling the borders to combat irregular migration.
Represented by the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, and the Onu of Ilaro commended the step taken to stem nefarious activities of hoodlums in the border areas. The first forward operational base was inaugurated in October 2019 at Ojaudon in the state. From Ilashe, Tope Alabi, NTA News.
Still on security, troops of Operation Tura Takai Bango, a subsidiary operation of Operation Lafia Dole in the northeast, have continued to eradicate elements of Boko Haram Islamic State's West Africa province criminals in the zone. A statement by the Acting Director of Defense Media Operations, Brigadier General Bernard Oyoku, indicates that the latest encounter occurred on the 20th of January 2021 at Abagajiri in Dambao local government area of Borno State, where the troops of 402 Special Task Forces Brigade encircled some Boko Haram criminals enclaves, eliminating 5 terrorists while others escaped with bullet wounds. Several heavy arms were captured while an improvised explosive device making equipment and the criminals' camp destroyed. Brigadier General Oyoku notes that the renewed onslaught against the remnants of the terrorists by the troops of Operation Tura Takai Bango is commendable, an indication of the end of all criminal elements within the northeast. 5 property, including 2 separate story buildings belonging to suspected kidnappers and criminals in Calabar, Cross River State, have been demolished by Operation Akpaku, a special security outfit established by the state government in December 2020. Paul Abel reports that the exercise is one of the core mandates of the operation to deter criminals from their nefarious activities.
As part of the regulations which I had signed into law under the Homeland Security, it is responsibility of government, the police, and the military structure under this Operation Akpaku to demolish the property of every single house that is being occupied by an armed robber, a kidnapper, or any bandit.
That was the Chief Security Officer of Cross River State during the inauguration of the Operation Akpaku. True to his words, the Yuletide was celebrated in a calm atmosphere, and several kidnappers and criminals have been nabbed since its establishment. But making a bold statement moving forward, the operation demolished property belonging to suspected criminals in parts of Calabar.
This is part of the exercise of Operation Akpaku. What I mean by Operation Akpaku is a special security outfit which His Excellency launched a few months ago. They have turned crime into business, building houses, building estates, and therefore government is all out for them.
Having witnessed successes like these in anti-crime, what then should be the expectations of residents?
Government will go after you. Operation Akpaku will go after you. So this is, we are trying to build confidence in the citizens. Those doing business, they should go about their business without fear or favor.
The exercise, which also affects hotels and other structures who have links with kidnappers and criminals alike, is an ongoing exercise with the backing of the judiciary. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
To politics now, the All Progressives Congress says all is set to make its forthcoming re-registration revalidation exercise seamless and conform with COVID-19 guidelines. Governor of Kogi State and Chairman of Mobilization and Sensitization Committee of the party, Yaya Bello, reaffirmed this during a strategic meeting with party leaders in Abuja. Saliu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
In about 48 hours, the rebuilding process of the All Progressives Congress through re-registration of old and new members is expected to commence across the country. In line with the demand of the party's leader, President Muhammadu Buhari, the exercise will be a bottom-top approach. This necessitated the strategic engagement with all APC state caretaker chairmen, where guidelines for the exercise were made clear.
You cannot claim to be strong or even to be in power or in authority today if your membership or your base is not big and robust enough. So as chairman of our great party, how much were you able to convince them to join APC? That is your strength.
The chairman of the Mobilization and Sensitization Committee added that subcommittees at wards, local government, state and zonal levels will be inaugurated to fast-track the exercise. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Watching the news on NTA International. We take a break and be right back.
I am there now. Are you sure this will work?
Pastor, I can't miss this guy's lecture. Just keep your phone on so I can listen.
Today we're going to be discussing sleep disorders. What is the medical term for sleepwalking?
Sonambulism.
Correct.
Get free Intel to Intel calls and experience HD quality conversations every time. Intel. Live more.
For the health sector and practitioners to continue to provide efficient service, Nigerians must be enlightened to ensure they take precautionary measures to protect themselves and caregivers from coronavirus. Health practitioners in Akwa Ibom State worried about the nonchalant attitude of some Nigerians, especially those still expressing unbelief about the reality of COVID-19. Ifoma Aheoke reports.
Obviously, the healthcare has been the most stretched sector since the outbreak of COVID-19, considering its frontline health duties.
Lots of audio in that report. We'll move on to the next report. The Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodimma, has warned that another statewide lockdown may be imminent if appeals to make residents comply with COVID-19 safety measures fail. Bright Ebocho reports that he made this known at a broadcast in Owerri, Imo State.
The broadcast by the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodimma, follows his displeasure over the attitude of residents of the state to his constant appeal on the need to fully comply with laid-down rules for prevention of further spread of COVID-19. Going by the growing rate of new infections and deaths, he says government might be forced to consider a second lockdown in Imo State if the executive order on compulsory use of face masks as well as hand sanitizers and other safety rules are not complied with.
I must make it absolutely clear that if our people choose instead to continue to deceive themselves that coronavirus does not exist and continue to go about without face masks and without observing the safety protocols, I will be forced to review the situation in coming weeks. If it is clear from the realities on ground that extra or more stringent measures must be taken to keep our people safe, I will have no choice but to authorize a second lockdown of the state.
Governor Uzodimma further used the opportunity to reassure state workers of government's determination to rectify issues of civil servants still having challenges with the automated payroll system.
All workers in the state have been given a personal identification form to complete. The target is to ensure that every legitimate worker in the state is given the opportunity to provide his or her personal identification details for the payroll automation process. It is hoped that this will help resolve the issue of incomplete data information of the few workers still having challenges with automated payroll.
In Owerri, Bright Ebocho, NTA News.
Still on COVID-19, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, confirms 2,314 new cases of COVID-19 in the country. A breakdown indicates that Lagos has 831, Kaduna has 545, which Federal Capital Territory 235, Plateau 127, Nasarawa State 80, Oyo 72, Delta 65, Rivers 64. Others are Kano and Ogun 46 cases, 13 Bayelsa and Gombe, Abia 28, Osun 27, Edo 25, Ondo 14, Sokoto 12, Zamfara 10, Bauchi 8, Imo 5, 4 each in Jigawa, Ekiti and Borno states, while Niger has 2, which is the least number of cases reported. The 2,314 new cases brings the total number of confirmed cases to 118,969 cases, 94,877 discharged with 1,497 deaths. The people of Alo and Nobi, both in Ndemili South local government area of Anambra State, Nigeria, have heaved a sigh of relief following the award of contract for the control of erosion sites in the area by the federal government. Community leaders during the flag-off promised the contractor of the needed support to achieve the targets. Chinyere Fesi Okoye reports.
The issue of gully erosion is major concern in southeastern part of Nigeria, and this is not only increasing in occurrence but also in magnitude. Gullies like this one here in Alo is said to be one of the greatest environmental disasters facing many towns and communities in Anambra State, as the state is said to have over 1,000 active erosion sites. The affected area is fast becoming hazardous for human habitation, as many residential homes have been submerged and others under threat. Large areas of agricultural lands are becoming unsuitable for cultivation, as it destroys farmlands and lowers agricultural productivity, among other challenges. Considering the magnitude of this site and the untold hardship the people are passing through, the federal government decided to come to their rescue. With the handover of the site to the contractor, people of Alo explained that they have exhausted all within their means before now to check the monster that has lasted for many years, all to no avail.
Too grateful. We are saying that God of heaven will reward you people. I feel all right. I feel all right.
It will be recalled that in December 2020, the federal government of Nigeria, through the Ecological Fund Office, Abuja, awarded the contract in the sum of 1.4 billion naira for the erosion control work on the Mbombo Okunwa at Umumbelu, Ebenesi, Okebnoye village, Alo.
We don't like having friction. If there are issues that you believe that need to be addressed, you go to the consultant and the consultant will bring it down to the office. We don't want a situation where you go to a contract and start saying this one is part of it or this is not doing the right thing. Whatever, we have a channel of communication.
All we want to promise you is that within the 16 months allocated for this job, God willing, we shall finish before the 16 months.
From Alo, the Ecological Fund team and their entourage moved to 2 other erosion sites in Nobi, also in Idemili South local government area of Anambra State, part of the awarded contract, as well as the bridge at the boundary between Alo and Nobi, where the people lamented inestimable socio-economic damages done to the community.
I've been hitting deep into the farmlands of my people.
We are not sleeping. If anytime it is rain, we are not sleeping.
I don't know how to express my million worth of thanks to federal government to come to our aid.
With the flag off of work at this site, the natives are full of appreciation to the federal government and are hopeful that the work will be completed in record time. From Alo, in Idemili South local government area of Anambra State, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
For sports news, let's join Gift George on Sports Update.
The Nigerian Basketball Federation says it is having talks with sponsors of the domestic league with a view of starting the 2021 league season. President of the federation, Amadou Musa Kida, confirmed that contacts have been made with its stakeholders and various clubs so as to formalize the protocols for the commencement of domestic basketball activities, which he assured will be in line with the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 directives. He, however, appealed for amicable resolution of the court case that has affected the staging of the Men's Premier Basketball League in the last 3 years.
For the sake of the truncation of 3 years now that they have done because of that basketball, because of the court case, that they withdraw it from the court and then they allow us to be able to play basketball at the level of the Premier League.
In table tennis, Nigeria's duo of Aruna Quadri and Jide Omotayo have been listed among top African table tennis stars for the forthcoming World Table Tennis Tournament slated for Doha, Qatar from March 7 to 13. Aruna, who is the highest ranked African player, will join the world stars in the main draw, while Jide Omotayo will start with the qualifiers from February 28 to March 2nd. The qualifying draw will feature 64 players per gender. From Ado Ekiti, Ayodeji Ogunshake reports that a 3-day junior tennis tournament has ended in Ado Ekiti. The competition, which took place in the state capital, featured players in the under-14 and under-16 categories for boys and girls.
We have a lot of tournaments here in Ekiti, so we feel we have to get our players prepared.
It has helped me a lot for that can improve my training through if I'm playing this kind of tournament.
It was aimed at discovering new talent in the game and also create a platform for the established ones to sharpen their skills ahead of major national tournaments. With Sports Update, Gift George, NTA News.
Time for weather prospects for Nigeria and other cities of the world. That's the news on NTA International at this time. Thanks for watching. Ominodan is my name. Remember to always connect with the NTA to stand against rape and rapists.